Very track nje.
Nani nilezinda wewe?
Ngiyebe ukukholeni umkhozi wami. Hayi khozi, akuvumbuke bo. Enzala mamncane, asiyohlala lengaphandle kungcono lengaphandle manje. Ayikhona. Ngibani lo?
The members have been up in the speakers list confirmed with the manager from the chief's office. So that is the latest. But yeah, okay, the one that you jotted notes on is this one.
Oh, lento tanganithe nikhiphe emsebenzini.
Yiphi into?
Lengikhuluma nayo. Ngathi baby somebody. Kunjani fight?
Khona Charlie.
Khona ngibani onifundisa ukuthi isithakazelo sami ngujali.
Ngiyawazi amaNdebele, ngiyawazi amakhethu muzi.
Oh, amakheno ne?
Abojama khubala ngerithe.
Hayi uhlangane neNdebele. Ithi walelini.
Bonke nabo mrazana.
Members. Honorable members, let me remind you that we are live on Facebook and also on YouTube. Anything that you're saying, it's now live.
Okay.
Ngingakhuluma nje sengaqali but positive things.
Sawubona, Honorable Speaker, Madam.
Ninjani?
That is the tone, YouTube, WhatsApp, Facebook. It's a very good tone.
Honorable members, I think we can now start with our meeting. I will bow to my right and also to my left as a procedure. There will now be an opportunity for silent prayer or meditation. Thank you. Once more, let me take this opportunity and welcome our honorable members to this visual sitting, which is conducted through the Microsoft Teams platform and whereby members are in remote attendance. This visual sitting is conducted in terms of Rule 3A of our sending rules, referred to as Rules for Sitting of the House and Meetings of Committees by Virtual Means, Rules of Virtual Means in short. Honorable members must, however, note that our rules and orders are still applicable during the proceedings of this visual meet sitting, and we are therefore called upon to adhere to them. You are further requested to remain in attendance for the duration of the visual sitting, unless a formal apology to leave the sitting has been duly attended. The Secretary will ensure that provision of technical support throughout the sitting. Honorable members, all microphones must be muted when a member is not speaking. The video might be turned on unless you experience network challenges. When a member intends to speak, please click on the icon to raise your hand. Once you are recognized by the speaker, please unmute your microphone and turn on the video to introduce yourself and speak. Honorable members, there is a ruling on unparliamentary language by Honorable MC Sedibe and PV Mkachwa. Honorable members, due to the national state of disaster which was declared by our government since March 2020 in relation to the COVID-19 pandemic. As the legislature, we have been holding sittings of the House virtually through an online platform. It should, however, be emphasized that the rules and orders of the legislature are still applicable during virtual sittings. The same way as when we are holding physical sittings at the precincts of the legislature. Members must therefore adhere to the decorum of the House. In the event of contravention of the rules, the Speaker is duly empowered by Rule 40 to order any member to leave the proceedings of the virtual sitting for the remainder of the day's sitting. Further, Rule 50 clearly prohibits the use of unparliamentary, offensive, or unbecoming language during the proceedings of the legislature. My ruling, honorable members, on the 30th of July 2020, during a visual sitting where the House, amongst other matters, considered the Mpumalanga Adjustments Appropriation Bill 2020, Honorable MC Sedibe and Honorable PV Mkhatshwa uttered unparliamentary and offensive language, for which I am not in a position to mention in today's proceedings. Such conduct was unacceptable and not in keeping with the decorum of the House. In light of the above, I therefore call upon Honorable Sedibe and Honorable Mkhatshwa to withdraw the unparliamentary and offensive language that was uttered during the above mentioned sitting. Honorable Sedibe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, but it's Honorable Mkhatshwa who started. Can you start with him? I'll follow.
Honorable Sedibe, what difference will it make if you start? Because I've just told you. Remember that I'm the Speaker of the House. If I call you. You can't say call another member. Please, will you please do as I request? Because it's the ruling.
I understand and respect that rule and orders, Honorable Speaker. But my point is, situation dictates that the one who started the issue or the engagement must be the one who apologizes first, so that I can accept the apology and apologize as well.
Let me have an advice, because to say that to check on the issue of who started, because now we will debate something that will not assist us. It was you, Honorable Sedibe?
It was me who started.
Yes. Would you please do?
No. I think the advisor there is misleading you.
No.
All of us.
Remember that there is a answer that we are using. Will you please do as I requested you?
What do you expect from me? Say again, Speaker.
To withdraw the offensive language that you uttered during the sitting.
If you can remind me, what was the offensive language?
No, Honorable Sedibe, it means that you were not listening to me, because I said I will not be in a position to mention that on today's sitting. So do as I request you.
Yeah, but Honorable Speaker, if there was an offensive language, and as you mentioned that we have looked into the matter, you must have the facts so that I know what I withdraw. Because what I remember is that in my statement, it was about the debate on the vote on the social development budget, and I mentioned that we will not participate because some of the members here are part in stealing the food parcels and so forth, which has happened.
Honorable Sedibe, please do what I've requested you to do, because I will now go back to the rules now. If you don't want to adhere.
I don't have a problem, if you understand me.
Yes,
very
withdraw.
well.
If you don't have a problem, just withdraw what that offensive, because you know what you have said.
But
You
we
know,
spoke many things.
No, I cannot. No, that's why I'm saying that I cannot go back to what you have said, because it's an offensive language. And remember that we are live. No,
Yeah,
I cannot quote what happened on that day. Would you please withdraw that?
Okay, maybe let me check if you don't have facts. Who did I offend, Honorable Speaker?
I know, Honorable Speaker.
No, I'm asking,
No.
who did I offend? I must know who did I offend as a person, so that I can apologize to that person. Or I've offended the whole legislature.
The House.
You're saying it's an offensive language.
Yes, you have offended the House because you mentioned that in the House, something that I could not mention it today. You have offended the House. That is why I'm saying that you need to withdraw.
How do you offend the House when you refer to an individual, Honorable Speaker?
The decorum of the House is the sitting of the House.
No, I've never compromised any decorum of the House. I was specific to a member of this legislature, Honorable Speaker.
No.
I was very specific. It can't be the House. I didn't wrap them with the same belt, all the honorable members. I was specific to one member.
No, Honorable Secretary, it means that I will now go back to the rules.
I want us to pass in this matter properly.
Let me just go to Rule 50, Honorable Sedibe, that is talking about.
I don't have a problem, Honorable Speaker. I don't have a problem with the rules, Honorable Speaker. I have a problem with the approach.
No, it says that we are having a problem because now we are having a debate with the Speaker, and you don't want to take.
No, Speaker. I want to know.
Let me remind you. Let me go back to the rules so that you can know what is it that you have to do. I'm going back
also
to
assist me in terms of who must I apologize to, Speaker, please.
To the House. To the House.
Okay, for the sake of progress, Speaker, let's continue. I apologize.
Yes, withdraw. Thank you for that. Honorable Mkhatshwa.
Oh, I withdraw. Yeah, not apologize, I withdraw.
Yes, thank you very much. Honorable Mkhatshwa.
Now that he has withdrawn, Honorable Speaker, I also withdraw.
See?
Thank you very much.
That's what I was saying, that why do you start, you hear what he's saying.
Honorable members, let us now move to the formal motions. Thank you very much for that. It means that you have respected what the Speaker requested you to do. There is a motion.
Sorry, Honorable Speaker, an apology to Lashmanarin, Honorable Lashmanarin.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Sedibe. There is a motion standing on the order paper in the name of the Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Honorable F. V. Mlombo. I now call upon Honorable F. V. Mlombo to table the motion. Honorable Mlombo.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let me table the motion. I, Fana Vincent Mlombo, the Chief Whip of the Majority Party, table a notice of motion in terms of Rule 84, Sub-Rule 1B, that at this virtual sitting of Friday, the 28th August 2020, I move that the House notes that the order paper for the sitting of the legislature normally provides for motions without notice, notices of motions, statement by members, and executive statements that are made by members of the legislature and members of the Executive Council for the consideration by the House in line with the rules and orders of the legislature. Further note that the national state of disaster was declared by the government of the Republic of South Africa in respect of the COVID-19 global pandemic, resulting in lockdown restrictions being implemented in the country with effect from the 26th of March 2020. Further note that due to the lockdown restrictions, the legislature has, in accordance with the rules of the virtual meetings, been holding sittings of the legislature through an online platform as opposed to physical sittings. I therefore move, Honorable Speaker, that the House adopts a resolution in terms of Rule 4, Sub-Rule 1, to suspend the provision of the relevant rules, namely Rule 83, dealing with the motions without notice, Rule 84, dealing with notices of motion, Rule 93, dealing with statements by members, and Rule 93A, dealing with the executive statements. In that, during the virtual sitting, the listed matters not be placed on the relevant order paper and therefore not be considered by the House. That the House resolution on the suspension of the rules mentioned in paragraph 3 shall remain in force until the House commences with physical sitting at the declared precinct of the legislature, which is Baobab Mbombela, and shall not apply to formal motions that will be considered by the House during the virtual sitting of the 28th August 2020. Honorable Speaker, I so move. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I am informed that there is no debate on this motion. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion as tabled by the Chief Whip. Agree to?
Agreed.
Agree.
Yes, agreed.
And so agreed. Thank you very much. The Secretary shall read the first order of the day. Secretary.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. The order of the day, order number 1, the SNAP debate on Women's Day.
Thank you. I have a speaker's list in front of me. Speaker number 1 will be Honorable J.L. Tabete from the ANC. 4 minutes. Honorable Tabete.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and greetings to the Deputy Speaker, Chief Whip, and honorable members of the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature. Honorable Speaker, the ANC-led government has recognized the potential of women, and it is for that reason women have been placed in position in government and other parts of the economy. Previous and global, women were never seen to be capable of leadership position, let alone leading a country. In our province, we have the likes of Mamno Nkuna, who is successfully leading and heading Basco, a big company. We also currently in the province being led by a very capable premier, Honorable Refile Mtweni Tipane, as the First Lady of Mpumalanga. The ANC has produced the likes of Phumzile Mamlambo Ndungwa, occupying a high position in the United Nations. Honorable Speaker, President Ramaphosa has voiced his concern about the rise on gender-based violence, especially during this difficult time caused by the pandemic of COVID-19, where the country registered more than 13,000 cases of gender-based violence in a very short space of time. Government has responded very strong and angry for the perpetrators on gender-based violence. It is therefore the reason where the government has put aside the budget on. It is therefore that the reason where the government put aside the budget for specific on gender-based violence. Therefore, the Department of Social Development allocated 30 social workers on contract specifically dealing on gender-based violence in order to give full support to the victims. Honorable Speaker, yesterday the Department of Social Development has hosted the vulnerable widows within our province. We feel that those widows are vulnerable women in the country and they are not well organized. We therefore request our government to take care for these vulnerable widows, because every time they are frustrated by their in-laws, some of them they are not working, some of them they've lost their house, so we need to take care for this sector of widows. We also urge the public participation in the legislature to assist women in popularizing the customary marriage, so that women, they know exactly what is their rights in their various families, and to feel free as women of South Africa. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. The second speaker is Honorable TLJ Grove Morgan from the DA. 3 minutes. Honorable Grove.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to the House. Honorable Speaker, as we debate Women's Day, I do not want to speak of anything negative. Rather, let us remember those who were victims of crime against women as a tribute to them. Let us empower the women of our province. As a month dedicated to women, we can stand tall and know that we have come a long way in our fight for justice, in our fight against an unjust society, and in our fight for equality. And by us standing here today is a symbol of that success. And as the Democratic Alliance, we have had the opportunity to have our very own provincial leader born in the month of women. She is a symbol of strength to all of us. She is a true fighter for justice, and I would also like to congratulate her on a birthday which has passed. Honorable Speaker, every year without fail we debate the plight of women at the hands of their spouses or someone unknown to them, and every single year, after all these debates are done, nothing. Why is it that the lives of women are just pushed to the side? Last year, President Cyril Ramaphosa called for special talks in the provinces with regard to curbing the increases in gender-based violence. Yet again, after all these talks and deliberations, what has happened? Today, I stand before you all and I make the following proposals in order to ensure that women of our province are protected. Firstly, Honorable Speaker, in all our discussions and deliberations on promoting respect for women's rights, we talk about teaching our sons to be better, instilling the values which allow for accepting women as an equal counterpart. And despite all of these talks, nothing has happened in our schools to ensure the above is attained. Through the use of media campaigns and talks or discussions, on the rights of women. Let us ensure that everybody knows
50
that
seconds.
and the toll that it takes. Let us use the media to call for a shift of thinking in our society. All too often, we see videos emerge of women who are being beaten in public by those known to them, but never will anyone step in and provide assistance. Honorable Speaker, in concluding, I believe that we really need to promote and empower the women of this province in the coming years. If we are serious about the safety and the promotion of women, kindly adopt the proposal I have made. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Robert Morgan. The next speaker is Honorable M. Lakshmi Narain from the ANC. 4 minutes. 4 minutes.
Unazan Kolen.
Deputy Speaker, Honorable Premier, Ms. Refilwe Mshweni Tipani, Chief Whip of the Majority. Honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. Honorable Speaker, let me take this opportunity to firstly thank the ANC-led government for allowing me this platform to participate in this important debate on Women's Day. As an ANC member, standing committed to its values.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on a point of order.
Just a minute, Honorable Lakshmi Narain. What is the point of order?
Yeah, I don't understand this sequence of speakers, and it's unusual. As far as I know, it should flow through the party representation in the legislature. After the ANC, it should be EFF, not DA. And in this case, it was ANC, DA, now ANC. Why are you omitting EFF? The speakers is not supposed to be like that.
Let me apologize, Honorable Sedibe. The point is taken. I couldn't check that. Next time it won't happen. My apology in that regard. Would you please
let the EFF speaker come in now. The ANC will come later. Let's rather compromise on that, because it can't be. We have the official opposition. They were after the ANC. DA is far there. Not even nowhere to be found nowadays. You can't compromise us with DA. Let's rather we follow them.
Okay, no problem. Honorable Sedibe, I can request Honorable Lakshmi Narain to come after Honorable Nyembe. There is no. Yes. As you have,
and they said
no problem. Just don't talk now, because I've just made a ruling that your order is sustained. I will request Honorable Lakshmi Narain to come after Honorable Nyembe. Honorable Lakshmi Narain, no problem. Will you please take your seat? I will request Honorable Nyembe to come in before you. Honorable Nyembe.
Yeah, thank you. Before Honorable Nyembe.
No, Honorable Sedibe, no.
No, listen to me. It's not
no, I don't want. You raise an order, then I've said the order has been sustained. Then I give Honorable Nyembe. So don't talk any further, please. Honorable Nyembe,
please. Strong warning.
No. Honorable Nyembe. Unmute Honorable Nyembe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, may I extend my greetings to all members of this august House, especially the leader of the official opposition party, EFF, Honorable Sedibe. Honorable Speaker, women should not be recognized on special occasions only. Well, I personally think that every day is a woman's day. A woman's task is endless, tough, challenging, and they have the ability to bring life into this world. Honorable Speaker, During these trying times of this pandemic, women have been the forefront and have been at the forefront fighting the invisible enemy as home-based care workers, caregivers, and nurses, risking their lives and those of their families, but they are not rewarded accordingly. There is no danger allowance. There is no allowance for death at work, but they were risking their life. It is a shame, as we are blessed with 7 women in the executive here in Mpumalanga who fail to take decisions that will benefit other women and bring dignity. To the chosen 7, being the Premier, the Speaker, the 5 MECs, MEC Shabalala, MEC Manzini, MEC Masangu, MEC BP Shongwe, and MEC Nchalinjali. I know that you have to glance to the right and to the left to get a go-ahead. May you kindly be brave enough to show that you are in charge, and take bold decisions. As I conclude, Honorable Speaker, I salute the woman who is mourning the loss of pregnancy that nobody else knew about. The woman who leads in front while she is lost in sight. The woman whose husband makes extra stops after work every evening. I encourage women to embrace their femininity as power, not as a weakness. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. The next speaker will be Honorable M. Lakshmi Narain from the ANC, 4 minutes. Honorable Lakshmi Narain.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. There's always that famous saying, we're saving the best for last. So, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Premier, Mr. Filwe Msweni Tsipane, Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Honorable Members, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. Honorable Speaker, let me take this opportunity to firstly thank the ANC-led government for allowing me this platform to participate in this important debate on Women's Day. As an ANC member in good standing, committed to its principles and values, I need to firstly say that I will forever be indebted to the ruling party for the privileges my community, my family, and I enjoy today. And by privileges, I mean our basic human rights, if we will regard that as a privilege, which the ANC has fought for. But, Honorable Speaker, being a dedicated and committed ANC member does not mean I must ignore certain laws that need attention and amendment from our leaders. As an attorney, I have witnessed the flaws in our legal system firsthand, especially when it comes to protection of women's rights. According to police statistics, a woman is killed every 3 hours in South Africa. Half of these women are killed by men with whom they hold a close relationship with. Not long ago, in a previous sitting of this Honorable House, we called the names of all the women who lost their lives in this province by the hands of their close partners. If this is not an indication of the help needed by women, I'm not sure what is. We need more strict laws to be enacted to protect the brave, unemployed mother who decides to register a case against the man that feeds her. And by why I mean man that feeds her is because most women overlook forms of abuse in fear that they will not get that financial support from their spouses. But that's where education of the law comes in, to inform them of their rights to claim maintenance and spousal support. The fact that your wife laid a charge against you for your own wrongdoing gives you no right to withhold financial support to her or her kids. Honorable Speaker, now we all know the history behind Women's Day of the 20,000 women of all races who marched to the Union buildings in Pretoria in 1956, which march was led by Sis Lillian Ngui, Helen Joseph, and Sophia Williams. And during that march, they sang a famous song, which can be translated to, "You strike a woman, you strike a rock." Honorable Speaker, I confess, as women, we still have a long road to travel, but the journey there has begun. Proof is in our own province, being led by a strong, capable woman, our Honorable Premier, Mr. Filwe Tsipane. Proof is also in the fact that I appear before you here today as the youngest member of the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature, also a strong woman. As women, we need to encourage and support each other and acknowledge that we are capable of the very same management positions as any other man, that we are capable of owning and specializing in farming and still be able to be gentle and supportive mother and wife. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Lakshmi Narain. I've received an apology from Honorable Weber. He's not here with us. The next speaker will be Honorable MC Masilela. Honorable Masilela, for 4 minutes from the ANC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, the Chief Whip, members of the Provincial Legislature. Greetings. Women's Month celebrates the strength and resilience of women and their contribution to society and country. Women still face domestic violence, discrimination, and harassment. A women's charter was written at the Federation's first conference and called for the enfranchisement of men and women of all races, of equality of opportunity in relation to property, marriage, and children, and the removal of all laws and customs that denied women such as equality. Women's Parliament was convened under the theme following up on commitments growing Mpumalanga province together. This shows commitment of Mpumalanga province to change the women's lives. Nelson Mandela said, I open quote, freedom cannot be achieved unless the women have been emancipated from all forms of oppression, I close quote. Women in our society cannot be emancipated if economy still belongs to few and only rotates only to them. Gender-based violence cannot be divorced from the abuse of alcohol and drugs. Most perpetrators commit these gruesome crimes under the influence. Control measures must be tightened. We continue to call all stakeholders not to lose hope and faith on fighting gender-based violence. Progressive men must lead the campaigns of the gender-based violence and protection of women. A 25-year-old woman, Nkosipile Nkambule, has died after she and her child were trapped in a burning house, which was allegedly set alight by her boyfriend, Morgan Mashiane, who is also a father of her child. She managed to shield her 6-year-old daughter from sustaining fatal burn wounds, but sadly lost her life in the process. The incident happened in Kwaggafontein on Tuesday, the 18th August 2020. Indeed, Musadi Uswara Tipa Kabuhaling. As we march towards the 2021 local government elections, women must be at the center of leadership. As much as they are doing a lot to service communities, we cannot regress on progress made with women representatives in strategic positions. Instead, we will add more. President Marshall McClegger said profoundly, this work is not for self. When you rise, take other women with you. Honorable Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. That concludes the debate on Women's Day. The Secretary shall read the second order of the day. Secretary.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The second order of the day, questions for oral reply to members of the Executive Council.
I have a question paper in front of me with questions for oral reply of members of the Executive Council. I am informed that the question paper was duly circulated to all members of the legislature. We will now proceed to questions for oral reply as they appear on the question paper. First question, which is question number 28, as it continues from the previous one. The question asked by Honorable F.V. Mlombo from the ANC to ask the MEC for Finance, Economic Development and Tourism. Honorable Ngomane. Honorable Ngomane.
Hello. Hello, Honorable Speaker.
Can you respond, please, Honorable Ngomane?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and members. Honorable Mlombo asked the question about the coronavirus pandemic, which has affected the operation and the growth of economy in the province and resulted to some businesses from closing down. Our response, first, what is the department doing to prevent jobs and businesses from closing down, while at the very same time also ensure that our people do not lose lives as a result of COVID-19? As my response, our government's position in terms of COVID-19 was and is to protect our people's life in the first place. Hence, the lockdown and risk-adjusted strategy over the last couple of months. Government is now reopening the economy gradually in order to minimize the negative impact of COVID-19 on the different sectors from a growth and employment point of view. This balanced approach was and is not easy at all. It was and still is a learning process for all of us. As I already indicated, government has introduced several financial relief schemes to support SMMEs, including tourism industry, as well as special grants for most vulnerable and affected people in our communities. Our department has, during this lockdown, actively engaged and interacted with stakeholders through the local media to explain all available relief schemes and to also explain the implications of various lockdown regulations. We have also established the support helpline to assist all our clients who needed government services during the lockdown. We had to ensure that businesses across the province comply with Disaster Management Act and its regulation in full. Lastly, the negative impact of COVID-19, especially on youth unemployment, is a huge concern. In this regard, the provincial unemployment rate for 18 to 24 age group was already extremely high at 63% in the first quarter of 2020, even before COVID-19 happened. Our intention, therefore, is to address these youth unemployment challenges as part of post-COVID-19 economic recovery plan. The honorable member also asked as to how is the honorable MEC will ensure that businesses which are producing goods and services are also adhering to lockdown rules. Our response, at the start And during the lockdown, we issued quite a number of media statements, including conducting radio interviews to explain the implications of Disaster Management Act and its regulation to our people. In addition, we conducted impromptu inspection on business premises, working with South African police to check and enforce compliance. We have further utilized community radio stations to interact with our people and to explain the applicable regulation to them too. Through the Office of Consumer Affairs, we have responded to reported whistle-blowing cases wherein the public reported retailers and employers who were flouting the lockdown regulations. Honorable members, Honorable member also asked that the target for growth of the economy is in this current financial year may be affected due to pandemic, and what the plans for the economic recovery. As I have indicated, indeed, our economic growth target in line with MTSF, the MEGDP, and Mpumalanga Vision 2030 will not be achieved this year due to the negative impact of COVID-19, as well as structural challenges of national and provincial economy. The research conducted by our department estimates that economy of our province will record a negative growth of between 5 and 7% this year. To intervene, as already indicated, we have developed the Provincial Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, which has since been adopted by Executive Council in July 2020. The plan illustrates our commitment to work closely with business sector and other relevant stakeholders to mitigate the negative economic impact of COVID-19 pandemic, and also to identify new economic opportunities post this pandemic. I hope I have adequately responded to all questions asked by this honorable member. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MEC. Honorable Mlomo, do we have a follow-up question?
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. My question is on the youth and women. Although we appreciate the Provincial Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, we would have loved that it pays special attention to the youth of this province and the women, because according to the statistics that are provided by different institutions, the youth and women are the large percentage that are unemployed in this province. So I would love the MEC to brief the House in terms of the response of this economic recovery plan in terms of dealing with the youth and women unemployment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Speaker, and thank you to Honorable Member. It's true that youth and women are highly affected by this pandemic. But as we have indicated that we have an estimate of plus minus 100,000 people who are going to lose jobs. And our priority is to make sure even though we are trying our level best to prioritize women and youth, but also those who are going to be affected by this pandemic and lose job, we are going to try our level best to prioritize them and target them, because immediately they get out from work, they don't know as to what are they going to do. Mostly, they are going to utilize the little they have and get into the poor line. Our strategy is to make sure that we get as to where are they, and make sure we strategize and give them skill as to how can they get into the stream of being part of SMMEs and use the little what they can get in order for them as SMMEs be sure as to the little they got when they were still working, they are not going back to use it when they choose to be part of SMMEs. They are sustained. And the most important sector which we saw and we're still going to lobby across and write a proposal to our ESCO is to prioritize that most of our people, they must go to agriculture, because agriculture is one of the sector which even though people are affected by this pandemic, majority, they still need to eat. So if we can go to agriculture, get land, our people will be given land, the little they get, we give them skill and till the land. Definitely, our people, even if they can lose work, they are not going to starve. Thank you, Honorable Member.
Thank you very much, MC. Honorable Lombo, do we have any other follow-up question?
No, I'm fine. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any follow-up questions from other members?
I think what yes, I'm here, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Sidibe.
Okay, Honorable Sidibe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You will pardon me, my device in terms of raising the hand is not working here.
But
the Honorable is leading a crucial department in terms of job creation and ensuring economic growth in the province, among other things, but not limited to ensuring the empowerment of the SMMEs, women and youth included, and people living with disabilities. Now, through the entity which report directly to him or the department, MEGA, Mpumalanga Economic Growth Agency, there are many SMMEs supported by this entity, according to the report that we had previously in the portfolio committees and so forth. And they are being affected by this COVID-19 pandemic. My question is to the MEC, Honorable Speaker. Did the MEC set aside a budget to support these SMMEs which were funded by MEGA? If yes, how much budget was allocated to MEGA to save these small businesses that were funded by it? And if no, why is the MEC not setting a budget like it happened nationally, at least to protect the businesses and the jobs created by those businesses supported by his department through the entity MEGA?
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I must also thank to Honorable Sedibe. The answer is no. Yes, you will remember the pandemic came around March, and the process of budgeting was long past. And I want to indicate to you that all the processes of relief are nationally driven. And as a department, we are only assisting the province and all the sectors which play a role in our economy. But definitely, as the province, we are having processes which are going to be driven in the province and be presented in EXCO S2. How can we as a province do or get some assistance which are driven from the province to deal with the issues which you are raising? Because as indicated, also we are very worried as to some of the issues must be driven by ourselves. But majority, even when we reprioritize our budget, the most important area which we were supposed to look at, it was education and health. But we are in the process working with the Office of the Premier and get exactly as to how are we going to deal with the issue which you are raising. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MEC. You have also exhausted your time because it is 15 minutes, 10 minutes plus five minutes for follow-up questions. All in all, it should be within that 15 minutes. I will now shoot straight to another question, which is question 29. That question was asked by Honorable MC Masilela from the ANC to MEC for Human Settlement. Honorable MEC Masango.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to you and honorable members in the House. The question for oral reply from MC Maslela, ANC member, to us MEC Mahlangu, that the government housing subsidy are houses built by government and are given to low-income families. One of the Department of Human Settlements areas of responsibility in the delivery of human settlements relates to bottommost end of the market, where it provides housing subsidies to the poor. The department is commended for fulfilling its constitutional obligation in providing housing in areas such as Siangore, Malateni local municipality. The question is, in light of the above, can the MEC indicate how many housing units have been constructed in Siangore? The answer is the department has completed 3,626 low-cost houses out of the 8,856 service site procured in Siangore, with 1,388 planned for completion in the 2021 and outer financial year. The second question is, can the MEC shed some light on the processes that the department followed in ensuring that these housing units at Siangova are allocated to the rightful and deserving beneficiaries? The answer is the first level of prioritization that is applied when selecting prospective qualifying beneficiaries pertains to vulnerability. The most vulnerable groups are older persons. These are prospective beneficiaries who have reached the age of 60 years and older. The second priority is disabled person. These are prospective beneficiaries who are disabled or who have a disabled family member living in the household. The third one is child-headed households, where the head of the household looks after his or her siblings. The subsidy beneficiary household should be linked to a social development approved support processes. The fourth one is foster parents, where children were legally placed under foster care and the foster parents require urgent housing, or prospective foster parents who are in the process of obtaining a housing unit in order to obtain approval from the court for the adoption. The fifth one is household who need emergency assistance, like household living in area where sinkholes are prevalent. The remaining houses are allocated to persons on the National Housing Needs Register insofar as they meet all of the national qualifying criteria. The third question from Umhloniswa Maslela is, what strategy is being used by the department or government to ensure that occupants can easily access social and economic amenities? The response is, in 2015, the Human Settlement Department was restructured by EXCOM so that it is fit for purpose insofar as the human settlements value chain is concerned. In this regard, a component dealing with integrated human settlements planning was established. Again, the EXCO Lekgotla in its meeting held in October 2017 resolved inter alia that there should be an acceleration in the implementation of integrated human settlements project and ensuring the availability of economic and social amenities in all established settlements. To give effect to the said EXCO Lekgotla, the Department of Human Settlement has since 2017 been communicating with all relevant sector departments, advising them of stern service within the 14 integrated human settlements wherein social amenities must be constructed during the current MTSF period. The Department of Human Settlement is now prioritizing established integrated human settlements as part of its annual Human Settlements Development Grant Business Plan processes towards the delivery of social amenities. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. Honorable Member, do we have a follow-up question? Honorable Maslela.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My follow-up question will be, what strategy does the department have in order that the people, they don't sell the RDP houses before the stipulated time.
Thank you. Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Speaker. As the department, we are working closely with the Department of Community Safety and Security and the municipality in making sure that there are no corruption for the houses. As we speak now, I have established a team who are busy investigating those who are selling houses. I'm told that there are councillors who are involved in selling houses. I'm busy with that. Not long we arrested an official from Steve Chwete who were doing this corruption. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Maslela, are you fine now?
Yes, thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Any other follow-up question from other honorable members?
Honorable Sidibe, Speaker.
Honorable Sidibe and Honorable Frobe, you follow? Honorable Sidibe?
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me first appreciate the efforts of the department in fighting corruption in the allocation of RDP houses. I think that should be appreciated because it's a road that needs to be kept as soon as possible because it happens in all the municipalities, and as a result, the legitimate beneficiaries are not able to get into their houses because councillors give it to friends and families and girlfriends and boyfriends, and some they sell them to an amount of 40, 50,000 all over the municipality. So you must roll your sleeves in that area, Honorable MEC, like you did in Steve Street. Now, my question is, we are having more than 1,000 child-headed families in Pumalang, the record which is there in the Department of Social Development in terms of research. And most of these child-headed families are from the rural villages where the parents has died and they left the children to fend themselves. Some being in the family of 4, 5, 6, headed by a 13-year, 12-year-old, living in a one-room house without windows, without proper door, without security, and without food. Now, MEC, what is your plan around this situation? Because as the Department of Human Settlement, I think you have to play a role in ensuring that those children that are faced by this situation get proper shelter that is secured, and then the schools can take responsibilities of them. Why don't you consider?
Honorable Sidibe, your question is clear. It's clear because now we are taking a lot of time and other honorable members must come in. You have made your preamble,
Okay,
then you are continuing with the preamble. Please stick to the question.
It's fine. The question is, why don't you consider building a children parliamentary village in all the 3 districts or region of Pumalang so that you can house all these vulnerable and destitute children who are left to fend themselves on their own?
Thank you, Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Sidibe, remember when I respond to a question raised by Shonisha, I said our first level of priority is older persons, disabled persons, and child-headed families. Child-headed families are part of our priority. I don't think it's proper to single them out and build a village for themselves, their own village. They are included to the villages, so we build where they stay. I don't think that we'll be doing justice for them to build a village called a child-headed village.
How many have you built MEC so far? Because there's a lot
No,
in Bushbuck.
no,
How many have you built MEC?
Honorable
I will-
Sadibe.
I will
No,
provide-
don't disturb the MEC.
I will give you a clear statistics, Honorable Sedibo, before the sunset.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's in order.
Honorable Rovem again.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable to the MEC is MEC, part of delivering and fulfilling constitutional obligation is ensuring that the houses provided have all the relevant services. In Siangova, the houses and settlement look nice, yet people are left without the basic right to water. Why is government doing half jobs in the delivering of housing? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable MEC.
We have managed to put a bulk water pipe in Siangova. It shows that we are not doing a half job. We are still continuing with services there in Siangova. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. We are now moving to question 30 from Honorable MC Sedibe to ask MEC for Public Works, Roads and Transport. Honorable Mashiko.
Well, thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my colleagues in the Executive Council and the support staff in the legislature. Question by Honorable MC Sidibe, EFF, to ask the MEC for Public Works, Roads and Transport. We are all aware about the challenges brought to the economy and health system of our country and the world, especially funding COVID-19 related programs aimed at responding to the spread of the pandemic. National Treasury allowed easing of some rules when awarding contracts and tenders, but did not give away the process to be followed when appointing companies. A lot of companies were expecting to make business with your department, but from what we know, they were denied the opportunity because your department went on to give one company, for example, 4 out of 5 different contracts. Can the Honorable MEC answer the following questions? Question number 1. Honorable MEC, did your department take old projects and funded or labeled them as COVID-19 projects so that they can bypass the COVID-19 guidelines? The answer is no. The department did not take any old projects and funded, or rather labeled them as COVID-19 projects. All projects implemented by the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport are implemented in line with the project list received from the client departments. Only on request by client departments, some projects are expedited due to various reasons, e.g., to enhance the provincial response to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Unmute, MEC. Unmute.
Okay, sorry, it automatically muted itself, Speaker. Which process did the department follow? to get quotations or to invite companies to tender for COVID-19 related projects? The answer to Honorable Sidibe is the department did not get quotations or invite companies to tender for COVID-19 projects. In relation to infrastructure projects, the department used the sanitation and maintenance term contractors database to appoint contractors for these projects. For disinfection and decontamination of government facilities, the department is using its own term contractors that are on the database for cleaning and hygiene services. Approval was sought and granted to vary the scope of these service providers. Question 3, why only one company got majority of the COVID-19 tenders when there are a lot of companies who provide such services? The response is the department is not aware of the one company that got majority of the COVID-19 tenders, as alluded in the response to question 2, that we used our database in the main to allocate the job. And further than that, Honorable Sidibe, I took a session with senior management and we did an analysis only on COVID-19 procurement processes, and I'm satisfied that the department did diligent job. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, MEC. Honorable Member, do we have a question?
Yes, I do, Honorable Speaker. Well, by law, we are saying, or from my understanding, the organization that we are saving, Honorable MEC, advocates for equal rights and equal economic empowerment for all. Now, which is not the case in your department. There are more animals that are more equal than others. Because if you look at the bulletin that is normally issued by the provincial treasurer, you will find 4 dominant companies being the one allocated the significant budget of that program, like in the road maintenance, the patching. Only 4 companies got 29 million each. And then the rest got 300, 400, and maybe 5 million and so forth, and repeatedly. Then the question is, what is so important about those companies and why those companies only? That's the question that the MEC must answer, because it is there in the bulletin. I'm talking about something that you can see or we can refer you to. And as a result, there are many, or one company is getting as many contracts as possible, some 6, 7. But within the database that you are referring to, there are companies that are not getting anything, or they have not get anything since they were appointed to be part of the panel. Why?
Thank you very much. MEC?
Honorable Speaker, the problem of Honorable Sidibe is that he's not making a follow-up on the questions that he sent to me to respond on. And he's bringing other new questions, but nonetheless, I'll respond to him. In terms of your questions that you sent, Honorable Sidibe, I responded to you that we use the sanitation and maintenance, and we use the term contractors for pest control, and we allocated all of them. Now, your new question in terms of road maintenance, indeed, yes, contractors or companies are allocated in terms of their CDB grading, And if companies are qualifying in terms of their capacity, we allocate them. And beyond that, we have got a responsibility to build capacity in the province of Mpumalanga. And all the companies that you are referring to, they are companies that we are proud that they are companies from the province, and
What
we
is
must.
the criteria of selecting those companies to build capacity? Because there are
Honorable
many
Sedibe,
that
Honorable
have
Sedibe,
grade 7, grade 8. What is the criteria?
Honorable Sedibe, no,
Yes.
don't disturb
No,
MC.
but you must explain the criteria. You cannot say you are proud and you build capacity because they are equal. All of them have those grades. How do you choose the 4?
Honorable Sedibe, give MEC an opportunity to respond to your question.
Yeah, and Honorable Sidive must be honorable. Let me explain you the process. I thought you have got a financial background. Now I must give you some lessons. We have got a database. From the database, we draw companies for jobs that are available. The second process after that, those bids will then go to, those companies will then be subjected to bid adjudication process. And after the bid adjudication process, a recommendation will be made to the HOD.
That's
the
not my
HOD
question, Honorable Speaker. Point of order. He's not responding to my question. He's teaching me the bid adjudication processes. I don't want the supply chain management processes. I will ask you, what is the criteria?
You know why, Honorable Sedibe? It's just that you don't want to listen. You keep on disturbing the MEC while he is responding to your questions. That is why.
I'm listening to him. I'm prepared to listen to him because I've asked the question. I want to know. But I cannot listen to something that I've not asked. I don't need that workshop, MEC. I'm fine with that.
But I'm responding to the criteria. The criteria, Honorable Sidibe, is that companies are drawn from the database. That's the first criteria. After having drawn from the database, they are still being subjected to supply chain procurement process of the bid adjudication committee. Then a recommendation is made for the accounting officer to appoint the companies. That's the criteria. I don't know what else do you.
So only the 4. All the time the bid adjudication come up with the 4 out of the hundreds of companies that are there.
Sedibe, Honorable Sedibe.
Yes.
No, you are making a dialogue now. We are not talking through the speaker, and you know the rules of the House. Each time you want to
Okay,
talk.
thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'll write to the MEC. Maybe it's fine. You'll answer me directly through writing.
Please. Then yes, do you have any other follow-up question so that I can pass to another members? Honorable Sedibe.
There's no other follow-up question, Honorable Speaker. I'll write to him.
Okay. No, thank you very much. I'll now check from other honorable members if do they have follow-up questions. It means they don't have. We will now pass to question 31 from Honorable R.J. Sitole, who has apologized. Honorable Probe Morgan will stand in for her. From the DA to ask the MEC for education. Honorable Majuba. Honorable Majuba. Honorable Machuba, where are you? Support staff, will you please check Honorable Machuba?
In the meantime, maybe we can move to the next question.
Okay, honorable members. Yes, Honorable Machuba. Okay, let me
No,
just.
is the chief whip here? Is the chief whip here, Honorable Speaker? I was saying that we have not received an apology from Honorable Machuba. I'm not sure what is happening. I'm not sure whether you can see from your screen if he has connected.
He connected earlier on. That is why I'm calling him. Maybe he had a challenge in terms of a network. I will just move to another question. I will come back to this question. I think support staff will just check Honorable Machuba, and the other question is question 32, of which Honorable Weber is not here. It means that it falls off. I'm moving to question 33. That was asked by Honorable MC Masilela from the ANC as MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. We'll come back to the question from Honorable Machoba. We will just be checking him. Honorable Masilela.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I should think you have made a mistake. You should call the Honorable MEC for COCTA to respond on the questions that I submitted.
Yes. It's Honorable MEC for Cooperative. The question 33 is from Honorable Masilela from the ANC to ask MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. Honorable CBS.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. My greetings to you and the other honorable members, my colleagues in the executive and the staff. The question asked by Honorable Masilela is to ask about the 5 Mpumalanga municipalities that in our program. This was in the administration resulting to financial gaps. The first question is, which municipality is coping now, especially during this time of COVID-19? Is there an improvement so far, and can the Honorable MEC elaborate on that? How far electricity upgrade in Coven and Peggy municipality can you share on that? And how soon do we expect this intervention to be that it is very clear, Honorable Speaker, that COVID-19 brings challenges to all municipalities, not only a few of these. Municipalities experience a drop of income due to the effect of COVID-19 in relation to revenue collection. The financial impact on the economy further contributed to the inability of some consumers to pay their entire consumer accounts, and the restrictions on implementation of credit control measures further added to the financial and cash flow challenges by municipalities. The reading of meters and issuing of accounts are back on track. The impact on COVID-19 on municipal social economic profile will be monitored, and the impact of job losses will and other relevant challenges need to be measured going forward, Honorable Speaker. On the second question, on the improvement, we must indicate, Honorable Speaker, that we presented financial recovery plans that were comprehensive in all these 5 municipalities. And these plans were developed for implementation in a phased approach. But due to the dynamics and nature of the problems, it will not be possible to see change within a short space of time. These plans are also to be implemented over a period of 3 years. The immediate attention is going into the improvement of financial management, which includes increase of revenue baseline and improvement over supply chain management and development of funded budget. These municipalities were all supported with reconciliation, matching of valuation roles, tariff structures, and category of users to the master billing system in ensuring that all properties are reflecting on the billing system and are billed correctly. Some of progress can be summarized as follows. Malahleni, the new revenue reconciliation of the valuation roll and property master file on the billing system. The classification of properties, Honorable Speaker, on the valuation roll is not linked to the classification as set out in the tariff notice. Property classification on the valuation roll in 14158 cases did not correspond with the billing system as indicated. The correctness of the tariffs and fees charges for the property rate implemented on the billing system were verified to determine whether the tariffs and fees have been implemented in accordance with the municipality rate policies and council resolution for the approval of the tariffs and fees for the property rate, including the exemptions in rebate and commission. It was further noted that the valuation roll has 1,980 business properties with an amount of 7,156,656,900 rand value in total, while the billing system has 1,953 properties. Now, if you compare the 1,980 valuation roll business properties vis-a-vis the billing system, the number does not count. And the amount here is 7,060,245,900 rand. This is a difference of 96 million in the market value of business property. So as I've indicated, that these are the issues that we've identified at the Malahleni, and we have since dealing with the system. There were also 68,705 residential properties on the valuation roll with a total value of 34,597,413,943 rand, while the billing system had 72,000 total value of 32,290,890,912 rand. This finding resulted in the billing system possible being undervalued by 2,306,523 to 2,306,523,031 rand. More than 10,000 properties were added to the special data of Malahleni municipality. And this project is still in progress, Honorable Speaker. Tariffs billed for the month of December 2018 and January 2019 were analyzed. The tariffs billed for December added up to 36,004,065 rand and 68 cents, and for January, a total of 8,566,410 rand 53 cents. This shows an increase of 1,662,000 and then 44,085 cents on tariff revenue. On governing pay, as a result, on the meter audit, Honorable Speaker, 2,111 prepaid electricity meters were linked to the ERF numbers and billing account numbers in the master file through the meter audit app. The billing account numbers that were linked to those prepaid meters indicate an outstanding balance of 30,172,608,057 rand as per 31 August of 2019 on HSBC. Now that the municipality has linked the meters to these accounts, it will be able to apply its credit control procedures and recover the outstanding amount of 30 billion. During the audit, 3,276 prepaid electricity meters were recorded. and 1,118 were found to have no record of electricity purchases during the period of June 2019 to September 2020. An estimated annual revenue loss these meters was calculated to 645,242,045 cents, assuming a monthly consumption of 50 kilowatts based on the indigent consumption. Only, Honorable Speaker, updated ownership changes on both property register and the valuation roll and the billing system. Perform an estimation charge on property rates as per information from valuation roll, property register to determine the revenue for property rates. Validated estimation against reconciliation reports from the billing system to identify discrepancies between the expected revenue generated and the actual billing level. Report on discrepancies found on revenue estimation and actual revenue bill on the billing system and provide guidance on correction of discrepancies found. The municipalities were supported to the reprioritization of their budget in ensuring that councils adopted funded budget. In this regard, Honorable Speaker, all municipalities' budget were reworked towards a funded position. Ongoing discussions are taking place with bulk service providers in order to find and agree on affordable payments plans on area debt. All municipality supply chain management was centralized in order to manage and control outgoing commitments. The third one being, how far is the issue of electricity upgrade in Covenant municipality? Can the Honorable MEC share some light? The Covenant local municipality indeed requires electricity upgrading, in particular in areas such as Mbalente, Mzinoni, and Bethal, which are currently experiencing internal rotational load shedding. The internal load shedding is as a consequence of these areas exceeding their notified maximum demand made available by ISCOM. It is important to know that the ISCOM debt by this municipality, which is at an amount of 1.9 billion, makes it difficult for ISCOM to consider increasing required NMT. The intervention of the department has recently seen the municipality servicing its ISCOM debt, and the department will continue to monitor the implementation of the turnaround strategy of the municipality to address electricity challenges. In addition, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, through the intervention, the department and health demand the district municipality, the Covenant municipality recently took a resolution to appoint health demand district municipality as an implementing agent for the distribution of electricity, specifically for both Mzinoni and Bethal. This approach, underpinned by the district development model, will result in electricity operation of these areas, including upgrade of electricity infrastructure, being under the management of the district municipality. We can indicate that the district municipality has begun its work, which will see ISCOM increasing the exceed notified maximum demand through intensive engagement, putting an end to the internal rotational load shedding. The district, through its service provider to be appointed by the 30th of September 2020, will work a long-term plan to address electricity challenges in Mzinoni and Bethal. The long-term plan is informed by an extensive assessment of the electricity infrastructure to improve the extent of required upgrading. Madam Speaker, this is the first of many interventions to improve the distribution of electricity in Covenant Pegi. Last one is, how soon do you expect this intervention to be dispatched? The intervention related to the development of financial recovery plans as per section 1395 of the MFMA. In terms of section 146(1)(a), the municipality must implement the approved recovery plan. Sector departments will continue to support the municipality during the implementation of the recovery plan. Municipalities are obligated to report the progress with regard to the implementation on a monthly basis to the MEC for Finance as contemplated in the section 146(1)(c) of the Municipal Finance Management Act. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable Masilela, do we have a follow-up question?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just want to check in terms of the indigents, because COVID-19 has implications on the ratepayers. Most of them who are working, some of them now they're not working. How is the department planning to assist the municipalities to make sure that they continue registering indigents so that when they get equitable share. They get equitable share according to the number of indigents on the ground. Thank you.
Thank you. MEC?
Very much, Speaker, and the question from the honourable member. It will be difficult to make a determination, but how I'm going to respond is that we'll follow up throughout our municipalities on the impact of COVID-19. And when the window opens for the registration of the indigent people who are having challenges, we'll encourage our municipalities to ensure, and we'll go even to media slots to request our people who have lost their jobs to go and register to the indigent register. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other follow-up question? No. Follow-up question, Honorable Masilela?
No, thank you, Speaker. I'm fine.
Okay, thank you very much.
Honorable Sidibe.
Follow-up question to other members?
Honorable Sidibe.
Yes, Honorable Sidibe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Well, MEC, welcome. I think we have uplifted your own leave of absence. I thought you are still on the leave of absence. Now, the question here is, Honorable MEC, we have two troublesome municipalities in the province which were not audited due to non-submission of the annual financial statement, which is the sole responsibility of the municipal managers and the CFOs. Now the question is, that is a serious transgression, as you will know. I know we are empowered by the law in terms of both the MFMA and PFMA. And as a department that is responsible for regulations, you will know that what does the relevant legislation empowers you to do. So what have you done to these officials, in particular the municipal managers and the CFO, who failed to submit the annual financial statements? Because you have to act. The law permits you to act against those. And then why is the administrator in Dr. Jace Moroka still in charge of the municipality?
Honorable Sidibe, Honorable Sidibe, you are given a time just to answer, to ask one question, not two.
Yeah, it's one question. It's one question. Remember, I'm following the questions. I'm following the questions from Masilela. It's municipalities. So I'm referring to Governing Mbeki, the two municipalities that have not been audited.
Yes, Honorable Sidibe, you have asked one question to say, what is it that the MEC have done to the CFO of that municipality? You are now asking another question about the administrator. That is why I said you are given, an opportunity to ask one question as a follow-up question.
Let me help you, Honorable Speaker. I'm saying it's a one question because in my question I spoke about two municipalities that have not been audited, and one has the municipal manager and CFO in place, and the other one is under administration. So it's one question, but the other one must explain that why the administrator in Dr. Jace Moroka is still in charge of the municipality, whereas his term of office has expired. His 6 months has expired long time ago. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. You mustn't make a long preamble. That is why in your preamble, other questions arose in your preamble. Please, you need to stick to the question. Honorable MEC.
Thanks very much once more, Honorable Speaker, and thanks the question from Honorable Sidibe. Two municipalities that were not audited. The problems that differ from each other. The problem of Governing Mbeki is that they have not submitted their annual financial statement. Hence, the National Treasury will hold their equitable share. The problem with Dr. Jace Moroka is that there were a lot of infightings and AG could not get into audit. Now, let me start with Govan Mpegi. Govan Mpegi, we have noted and acknowledged, Honorable Speaker, that there are a lot of problems. Remember, we have instituted Section 106 1P forensic investigation, which is going to present. But Honorable Speaker, even before the conclusion of that 106 1P, remember, there's no legislation. I'm going to respond like I responded in Parliament National. There's no legislation that empowers MECs to deal direct with municipal managers and CFOs. Because municipal managers and CFOs are Section 56 employed by the municipalities. Our intervention is per the Constitution, which is Section 139, 1A, 1BC, and so forth and so on. So now, where we are, Honorable Speaker, we have noted that Govan Mpegi is unable to function with the challenges of internal control, and we are since going to do a presentation to the Executive Council to intervene to Govan Mpegi with Section 139, 1P. With Dr. Jess Moroka, I was engaging with the Auditor General. They are still struggling, but they are getting there. They're working with the municipality to audit. That couples with the issue of the administration. Yes, the administrator's period is finished. In terms of the law, after the administrator finishes his or her work, there's what we call closeout report. And the administrator was hit by sickness towards the end of his period, and he could not finish the closeout report. He has just submitted the closeout report, which we are preparing to Cabinet to present it to the municipality. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. I will now go back to question. Because of time, you have exhausted your 15 minutes for responses to questions and also for questions by honorable members as follow-up questions. So I will not give the second person for follow-up question. I will now go back to the question that was to MEC for education, asked by RJC Tole, of which Honorable Prof. Morgan stands in for RJC Tole, to ask MEC for education. MEC Majoba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to my colleagues, all honorable members and staff in the legislature. The question is as follows. Honorable R.J. Sitole from DA to ask the MEC for education. With regards to the tenders awarded for personal protective equipment for learners, teachers and support staff at Mpumalanga schools, can the MEC please indicate the following? From figure 1, how many tenders did the department advertise and awarded for the purchasing and delivering of PPEs? Who were the tenders awarded to? And what was the value for each of the tenders? Honorable Speaker, what I can say, there were many tenders that were awarded. The first one was the department opted to participate in the existing contract of the Department of Health and appointed the NIPRO as a service provider. We also awarded it to Bidvest, who were dealing with sanitizers, and also awarded to Doha suppliers, who were giving us fumigation sprays, and a multiple of suppliers whom we have attached as Annexure A, because there are many for us to can be able to deal with them here, hoping that the honorable member will be able to get them from the annexures. Roman figure 2, how much has the department spent to date on the purchasing and delivering of PPEs in the province? And how much more is the department envisioning to spend in this financial year? The answer is it was 116,382,000, and what we envision is 1.96 billion. Roman figure 3. How much did the department spend on sanitizing and fumigating of schools? The answer is the department appointed fumigators, temporary staff, and paid them a stipend, all of them, which was 3,976,000 total. The amount is already included in the above costing as stated. Roman figure 4. Does the department still sanitize or fumigate schools that report positive cases? The answer is yes. Before schools reopened in June 2020, the department appointed and allocated 8 fumigators per circuit. The department has since extended the contracts of fumigators until December 2020 in order to fumigate schools where COVID-19 cases are reported. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. Honorable Problem again, do we have a follow-up question?
Yes, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'd like to ask the MEC, with more learners returning to school, can the MEC state whether schools in Mpumalanga are adequately prepared to provide the necessary PPE to learners, teachers, and support staff?
Honorable MEC.
Yes, thanks, Honorable Member. Honorable Speaker, we are quite ready. We can say that we have managed to purchase all the necessary equipments for learners. We can say that they are quite enough.
Any other follow-up question, Honorable Problem again?
Yes, Honorable Speaker. I also want to find out, is the department able to ensure that schools are implementing safe COVID-19 regulations with washing of hands and social distancing of learners in the classroom? Because that's the most important place.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. In the first cohort of learners that we received, it was quite hectic to an extent that it made us to be well prepared for the second cohort and even for the third cohort that we have. We can say right now that we are quite ready to deal with the question of social distancing and all other necessary safety measures.
Thank you. Any other follow-up question from other honorable members?
Honorable Tabete.
Thank you,
And
Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just want to check with the MEC because some of the schools had a lot of problem regarding the issue of water. Did the department manage to work hand in hand with the municipality to check whether all schools have enough water? The other issue regarding the hygienic, the pig toilet, some of the schools had a terrible pig toilet. Did the infrastructure unit in the department go and check all the schools in our district to make sure that our kids are being safe to hygienic? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Emerson.
Thank you, Honorable Member. When it comes to the question of water, we can say that we had a challenge, but we were assisted by the Department of Water Affairs through Rand Water, which came to the space to assist us by providing tanks and also providing water in different schools. But the contract with Rand Water was supposed to last for 2 months. And after that, we are signing some agreements with different municipalities. And we can say that for so far, we haven't got any reports of any problem in terms of water. When it comes to sanitation, even there, that's where we also have some problems because of the pit latrine toilets. But what we did, initially we provided chemicals to those schools which have got pit latrine toilets so as they could be used in order to deal with the question of pit latrine toilets, and they were also cleaned. But it is still a challenge. Now we decided that we have to make sure that we deal with the question of providing mobile toilets, whilst at the same time the Department of Public Works is busy building toilets in all those different schools. Already contractors are on the sites, but for now we say that we're dealing with the question of mobile toilets. There are a few schools where we had some challenges of some communities having a problem with even chemicals, sometimes returning even mobile toilets, saying that they don't want those mobile toilets, they want flushing toilets. But all that we can say in terms of dealing with precautions for COVID-19, we are following all the necessary precautions as stipulated by the Department of Health of providing clean and healthy toilets. It goes only with the preference of different communities where you'll find that there are challenges. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Honorable Stephen. Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable MEC, your department hired the so-called screeners in all the schools that will deal with the screening of the learners as they come in. And for 3 months now, the screeners have not been paid their salaries. Why? Or stipends. Why are they not paid?
No, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. It is quite true, Honorable Member. It is quite unacceptable for youngsters not to be paid for 2 months, as you have said. The challenge that is there was the question of during the time when we were at level 5 lockdown, most of the workers in the department were also locked down. And that delayed the question of dealing with the paperwork of making sure that ultimately the screeners were going to be paid. But I also had a problem with that explanation because I felt that something had to be done, because the reason for us to employ those screeners and the reason for us to select youngsters was to deal with the question of poverty during that lockdown, and also to deal with the question of youth unemployment. So for them having not been paid, that is why I had to reprimand the administrators, and we have given them on Monday, we gave them that by today, by the end of the week, Friday, all screeners should have been paid. And the report I got yesterday was that 98% of those screeners were paid, and by today I think that they will all have been paid.
Thank you very much.
You must not do that again. You must not do that again, MEC, because when you hire a person.
No, Honorable Sadibe, no. We are now moving to question 34. Honorable J.L. Tabete from ANC to ask MEC for help. Honorable Manzin.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The question, and let me greet yourself, Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, the Chief Whip, the Honorable Premier, Mamri Philip Senitsipane, and members of the Executive Council, members of the Provincial Legislature. The question from Honorable Jael Tabete from the ANC to ask MEC of Health. Better health is central to human happiness and well-being. It also makes an important contribution to economic progress as healthy population lives longer, are more productive. The Provincial Coronavirus Command Council for its steering work in dealing with coronavirus pandemic. Can the MEC elaborate on the lesson learned during the pandemic in relation to public health facilities? The lesson learned during the pandemic relates to the importance of collaboration with other departments, clear plans communicated to all managers, regular engagement with organized labor, constant update of both staff and hospital management, functional governance structures, committees and teams, regular meetings of local hospitals, COVID-19 committees, clinical governance and partners with private sector, occupational health and safety committees established. The second question, can the MEC shed some light on the key aspect of the national health insurance in relation to public health facilities? The key aspect of the NHI are ensuring that universal coverage for all South Africans, improving the quality of healthcare services irrespective of socio-economic status of the user, promoting equity and social solidarity through the pooling of risk and funds, creating one public health fund with adequate resources and fund plan for effectively meet the health needs of the entire population, creating a single strategic health purchaser that will ensure the health services and health products are purchased and procured at a reasonable cost, ensuring that healthcare is regarded as public good and a social investment, promoting efficient and effective service delivery in both public and private sector that will be achieved through evidence-based intervention, strengthening the under-resourced and strained public sector as to improve the health system performance, adopting an appropriate new innovative health service delivery model that take account of the local context and accessibility, tailoring the health service delivery platform to respond to local needs and ensuring that continuity and portability of health services delivery benefits across the country. What are the anticipated mechanisms that will be put in place to ensure that the province is ready for the national health insurance? Re-engineering of primary health care, strengthening the service platform, improving management and governance of health facilities in terms of power delegations and financial management, the rollout of the NHI into all 3 districts, implementing the PHC re-engineering approach to strengthen PH services, preparing clinics and CHT to attain ideal clinic status, preparing hospital to attain the ideal hospital framework, infrastructure improvement, and improving human resource for health. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. Are there any follow-up questions to Honorable Member Tabete?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I do have a follow-up question. I just want to know the time frame to consolidate all the ideal improvement in all districts within our province. Did the department have any time frame to finalize the progress report? And also, I just want to ask MEC on the issue of the committees regarding the COVID-19. Did the department establish the committees of COVID-19 in all hospitals or in all districts, or how did they establish these committees regarding COVID-19? Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable MEC Manzini.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. In terms of the time frame, let me also indicate that as a province, all the district, the National Portfolio Committee of Health has conducted public hearing, and all the province, the district supported the NHI. Hence, now we are waiting for the finalization. But on the part of the province, it has been supported, of which we really appreciate our people for supporting the NHI, because they understand that it is going to benefit the majority of the people of the province. In terms of the committees, yes, as a province, we have established all the OHS committees that are assisting us in terms of monitoring the PPE on a daily basis. The committees comprise of your organized labor, the management, so that even what we really appreciate on other hospitals is that they are meeting some even more than once a week, some are meeting once a week, and also at national level we've agreed with the organized laborers to say that these are the committees that we're going to establish, and we are monitoring the facilities with the organized labor in terms of whether are they there, because what's important is not only to establish the committees, but to check if whether are they meeting, are they processing relevant issues, are they effective now. So I think in terms of the committees, that's one of the things that we have learned, that if you can work with organized labor, management at the facility level, if they the tension between the workers and the management becomes less on a daily basis. So yes, they've been established and they're very effective in the province. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC.
Honorable Sidibe.
Honorable members, are there any follow-up questions from other members?
Honorable Sidibe.
Honorable Sidibe and Honorable Krobe. Honorable Sidibe.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. The Department of Health is at the center of the COVID-19 pandemic through ensuring that, among other things, the doctors, nurses, and the health workers are safe from being infected by this pandemic, deadly pandemic, from the positive patients in the hospitals and clinics. Now, MEC, now that the president has called for the immediate stop or halt of the emergency buying of the protective clothing, like the coveralls and so forth, will this not affect the doctors, nurses, and the health workers? And if that is the case, what is your plan to make sure that there are no shortages of this protective clothing, like the coveralls and gowns for the doctors and nurses and all the health workers? Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As a province, we prioritize the safety of our workers. Hence, as the MEC, I tell them, if you don't have proper PPE, you must not work, so that we can have an understanding, because we are monitoring that. We are working with unions, the local, the region, and the province at the provincial level. And hence, even the minister himself, on a daily basis, we are reporting to him in terms of the level of our stock. So that's how serious we take the safety of our workers. So as a province, we don't anticipate any challenge in terms of the PPE, because at the depot we've got enough stock, and like I'm saying, on a daily basis, we are monitoring the level of stock and also assisted by national. So it is not going to assist us, Honorable CD. Affect us, I mean.
Thank you very much. Honorable Provem again.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, can the MEC please state why Mpumalanga is the only province that does not include other political parties to be part of the Provincial Coronavirus Command Council?
Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Chair. You know that you're talking about something of another level. I'm the MEC of Health. I've got structures in the department. I involve organized labor at that level. I don't have politicians in the department. So all the structures that I need to include at that level, they are involved. So I think that question, I'm not sure if whether political parties are sitting in other command council in other provinces. You must take it up with the relevant authorities to discuss that matter.
Thank you very much.
You must be specific. You must take it up with the premier. Why do you beat that by the bush?
Hello, man. Why are you making noise? No, don't do that. You must respect the decorum of the house, please. Honorable members, you are now moving to question 35. Yes, it's 35, asked by Honorable Engineer Mbe from EFF to ask MEC for social development, and MEC Mahlangu will stand in for MEC for social development.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The question from Honorable Nyembe to MEC for Social Development is the Honorable President announced a relief plan due to COVID-19 disaster in response to the devastation that it caused to our people, especially in response to the poor. Your department was tasked with developing list of the beneficiaries for food parcels, quality them and distribute. The question is, how many beneficiaries have been registered up to end of July 2020 per district, and how many were approved? The response is the target number of registered households was based on the list of households that were identified, screened, and verified during the assessment process. A total estimate of 65,656 households were confirmed and registered, whereby a total of 40,000 households approved by the PCC based on the 100 food parcels per ward. Out of the total number of registered households, 25,656 registered needy families were not assisted by the period in question, but most have been catered in the second quarter and through donations. The second question is, how many beneficiaries per district qualified and how many received the food parcels? Based on the qualification and selection criteria on the food distribution, the number of beneficiaries qualifying for food parcels and the poverty data line were classified as follows. For Tanzania district, the number of beneficiaries received food parcel is 27,085. Her district is 18,056. For in Kangala district, it's 15,047, which gives us a total number of 60,188. The third question is, what are the problems encountered in this program? The following problems and challenges were encountered during the food distribution processes, which is huge demand for food parcels which could not be provided for with limited budget. A 25,656 registered needy families were not reached due to limited budget by the end of July, but most of them have been catered through donations. And the third one is lack of a well-established IT system to manage information of beneficiaries to prevent duplications or double dipping. The last one is lack of budget for homeless shelter. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. Honorable Nyembe, do we have any follow-up question?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I do.
Okay, you can proceed.
Honorable MEC, I would like to find out whether the 60,188, does it include the 100 food parcels that were delivered at Honorable Tabete's house and the truck that was delivered at Honorable PV Mukajwa's house? Since both those houses, it was DSD trucks that were used to deliver those food parcels. Thank you.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Nyembe. Honorable Speaker, I don't want to lie. I did not send any truck of the department to any member's house. So it tells us that the food parcels, maybe, I'm not sure, maybe they bought them from their pockets or donated somewhere else, not from the Department of Social Development. I thank you.
Follow up, Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Nyembe, do we have any other follow-up?
Yes, Honorable Speaker. I would like to find out if they say it was donated, why do they use the DSD truck? And why do they use the CDWP people? Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable MEC.
Honorable Nyembe, there was not a track of the department who delivered the food parcel. If you have a proof, please provide the department with that proof. Because I don't want to lie. I don't know where did they get their food parcels. I said maybe are donations. Maybe. I'm not sure where they get them. For now, I don't want to lie. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Are there any follow-up questions from other members? Honorable Khrobe,
Yes.
and
Honorable Sidibe, Speaker.
yes, I also see Honorable Khrobe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I just would like to find out from the MEC, is the food parcel distribution still continuing in all the municipalities in our province? I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable MEC. Honorable MEC.
Yes, Speaker. Hello, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
May I provide the honorable member with a written response for her question, because I'm not in a position to respond on that one. I'm standing in for MEC Shongwe. She will send a written response to a member.
Okay, thank you very much. That is granted. Honorable Sidibe.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Unfortunately, I'll get the same response from the MEC standing on behalf of the MEC. So I'll reserve my question and do them in writing to the relevant MEC. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're now moving to question 36 from Honorable Hrobla, B. Hrobla from DA, which Honorable Hrobemo can stand in for Honorable Hrobla.
Speaker, I am online, so I will take the question.
Oh,
I struggled. I'm fine.
yes, I'm told that you are having a challenge in terms of your network.
I sorted it out, so thank you. I'm on.
Okay, no problem. Honorable Hrobla from DA to ask MEC for Culture, Sports and Recreation. Honorable MEC Jalinjali.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let me greet the House this morning and the Honorable Premier, our Honorable Chief Whip, and also our members of the legislature, the leader of the opposition, and all its opposition parties that are in the legislature. In terms of the response from the department to the questions asked by the honorable member, want to answer in this manner. The first question, Speaker, was that with relief to the funds set aside for artists and sportsmen, and how many sportsmen and women can the MEC please indicate the following? How many artists were identified in Mpumalanga? What criteria did the department use in terms of selection of beneficiaries? Our response is that the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture announced the provision of COVID-19 relief fund for the artists and our athletes, and also who have lost income due to this global pandemic. And also, Honorable Speaker, we must say that this was to cater for artists, athletes who have a national and international footprint with the clear guidelines. And after a MINMEC meeting, all provinces were further directed to follow suit to provide for the artists and the athletes at the local and provincial level. The national guidelines were adopted to suit the provincial setup and our demographics. And that guideline, it was giving in terms of who must receive. Honorable Speaker, we must say we had a good committee that was inclusive of our department, our Mpumalanga Sports Confederations, USIFSA, that were part of the process. A total of 295 artists and athletes applicants that we have received as a department and processed. The adjudication of those were guided by the following criteria as asked by Honorable Hrobla. Project managers, event organizers, producers, freelancers, performers, and visual artists, all cultural and creative industry, athletes, as well as technical officials that are eligible as per the criteria and framework. And remember, that framework was saying you should have a registered with the your SARS, you must be a South African citizen, and you must be complying with all of those. So organizations and individuals also were eligible to apply, and only applications that completed in Mpumalanga COVID-19 relief fund will be accepted, and also a special relief fund for non-registered organization individuals will be available only if they meet the requirement. Also, registered businesses and their employees may not qualify for this relief fund. They must explore other relief interventions that are available for business and labor. Only applicants affected by an event or events cancelled for the period of 16 March to the 30th of June 2020. Provision of false information will result in a member being disqualified, Honorable Speaker, and that will be treated as fraud and corruption. And we must also say that the application were directed to our municipal sites that fall that is your Hlanzeni, around district of Nkangala of Gersibande. Also, the threshold for the relief fund was standardized in terms of paying beneficiaries. And people with disability, women and youth also were encouraged to apply. Then, Speaker, how many of these assisted and for how long will the department be able to provide assistance in these beneficiaries? Our response, Honorable Speaker, as a department, we are saying we've assisted with the relief of 505 million. We're assisted with a relief fund for 5 million. 5,000 for individuals. My apologies, Speaker. 5,000 for individual applicants and 20,000 that was for groups, because you've got groups and you've got organizations and you've got teams. And then the department also focused on the priorities of June 2020, and our first wave to assist, we have done it. And now, as the minister has pronounced that we are taking the second wave, our artists and athletes, now again, application is open from the 18th of August to the 31st of August. Those that qualify to be beneficiaries, they must submit their application via their municipal offices in various municipalities, your NYDA offices, and some they can do it online, Honorable Speaker. And in terms of how many applicants did the department receive for the request for assistance and how many were successful? The department has received a total number of 295 applications for both the athletes and our artists. And the number is broken down as follows. The artists, we've received 109. Out of that 109, 96 were individuals, 13 were groups, and 136 of those were non-compliance, was not successful in terms of the non-compliance. Hence, we must bring that into the fore. Then, in terms of the athletes, 4 were approved and 46 were not successful due to non-compliance. But as the committee worked, we have been encouraging that if there's any outstanding document or information that they need, they must also, there was that window to go and lodge a dispute, and your matter can be ruled into, and then you are being assisted. Also, the department is that a platform, and that has assisted. The next question, Speaker, which is the last question, how much money has the department set aside, and how much money of these have received by the beneficiaries to date? We must confirm, Honorable Speaker, that a budget of 5 million was set aside for e-relief fund of artists and our athletes. I must also reiterate that, remember, Honorable Speaker, we presented a budget before COVID, but as COVID struck, we submitted a reprioritized budget that also caters for your sports in terms of the relief fund. The breakdown is as follows. 740,000 has been paid to our artists to date that were successful. And then 78,600 has been paid to our athletes to date, Speaker. And also, we must confirm that out of the 5...
So, honorable member, there is noise there. Please mute yourself. Hey, front desk, would you please assist? Okay. Continue, MEC.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think our MECs, MEC Mashiko, as you have assisted, they should mute so that we don't hear their conversations. And that out of the 5 million that was allocated to us in terms of reprioritizing the funds, we have spent to date 818,600 and was saying, as there is a second wave that has been open, so there's still the balance, we're going to utilize it, and that is our response from the department to Honorable Grobler and the House. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. Honorable Grobler, do we have a follow-up question?
Thank you, Speaker. MEC, thank you for your answer. I just want to confirm question number 1, because what I got now is that only for artist benefit. So if you can just confirm for me question number 1's answer, and then a follow-up question. I would like to know, from when did the beneficiaries receive their funds, and for how long will they receive their funds? Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. In terms of the athletes, we must say, Honorable Speaker, we have received 50 applications. Out of that 50 applications, 4 were successful, 46 not successful due to non-compliance. So we've written, we're engaging with them that they must look into the issues that are non-compliant to our regulations and laws in terms of us assisting them, and then they submit, Honorable Speaker. Because this 5 million, it covers the artists, the athletes in terms of that. But some of our artists were of national level. They benefited in the national, and these ones are at our level as a province. So hence, we want to confirm it's correct, Honorable Grobler. And the other follow-up is that they can still apply, Honorable Speaker, if I'm correct.
Speaker, sorry, it's Grobler. MEC, the second question was, from when will they receive their funds and for how long?
Oh, yes. Thank you very much, Honorable Grobler. As we speak to date, we have paid the first wave, and that has been for the duration period when we started. They have been paid, but payment was a bit slower because some of the members were banking with different banking organizations, and their monies took some time to clear, but I must confirm that all of them have received now. And that how long and when? Now we're entering a second phase of, that is why I'm calling it a wave, as pronounced by the minister. We are taking them for this period, that this quarter, where there is still that declaration. As and when there are changes, we'll come back after the minister has said provinces were continuing, because where we are seated, hence we're saying out of that 5 million, we're continuing with the servicing our athletes and our artists. If the status of the regulations, the lockdown changes, we'll come back again and pronounce ourselves. And where we are, we're not even sure when will be uplifted this lockdown regulation, but we'll continue. But the House will be briefed in order to make sure that they are abreast on all these issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any follow-up questions from other members?
Yes, Honorable Sidibe.
Yes, Honorable Sidibe.
Honorable Tabete.
Yes, Honorable Tabete. Honorable Sidibe.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable MEC. I think we appreciate the support of our athletics, and that is much appreciated, because you'll know that there is still a gap between the black race, athletics, and the white one. The same in the schools. The really white schools still have more sporting facilities than their black counterparts. Now, I want to know whether do you still have in the department the Sports and Culture Council? And if it's there, who's the chairperson and what is its role? But also on COVID, Honorable MEC, there was fumigations of the libraries during the COVID-19. And then when they were...
Honorable Sidibe, you are allowed to ask one question as a follow-up.
Yeah, my question is on COVID-19 as relating to the question asked by Grobler. that on the fumigation of the libraries, how much did the department spend? And why did they fumigate libraries whilst they were still closed? Thank you.
Honorable MEC.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and also appreciate the questions that are coming from Honorable Sidibe, who's the leader of the opposition. I think the first thing that we appreciate that we're coming into the space in terms of assisting our athletes and also dealing with our artists, it's really appreciated. But also, Honorable Speaker, we must say that we acknowledge that in terms of the inequalities, we know that as a department, we must develop new sporting facility where we can have many sporting facilities in our areas. And we know that the inequalities, we must still bridge that gap. Hence, also the 15% MIG that is given to municipality in terms of sports grant. We called the MEC where we spoke with our MMCs responsible to say that money must not be used for any other purpose, but for sports activities. Sports council, indeed, we still have a sports council in the province, even in our district. And I think, let me not Saki Chair, let me give the honorable member in written from the provincial level and the entire executive at the district level that even at local will provide. Then in terms of the question number 2 on COVID fumigation, yes, Honorable Sidibe, we have also, when we're in the Executive Council, a document presented before us is that the department has used about 4.5 or 4.8 million in terms of PPE and COVID procurement. And where the MEC is currently at, you are correct. If why did we and how did we fumigate libraries that were still closed? That report I am still awaiting, and we've allowed into our space the investigation. Hence, I accepted as a MEC for Culture Sport the investigation, because the last letter that the MEC has communicated is that our libraries are closed. They will give us a detailed report. Once we have that report, as we present as departments, we will present to you when and where and during which period, because where we are, libraries are still closed. If there is preparation towards uplifting and opening of our libraries, indeed, we will come back, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable Tabete.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I just want to make follow up to MEC Njanjali that the groups, especially those who are on artists, are they aware that some of them are not belonging to the province? They will get the competition from national, and if so, who's assisting those artists to make a follow up in national, because they are staying in our province? Because some of the group like must be elected over, most of them they are old, and they don't have enough funds to make follow up and check what's happening, because I know they never get anything. Honorable MEC, if you can just assist and recheck all those who qualify but not receive the money. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable MEC.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let us confirm that in terms of our artists, they are represented by CIFSA, which is CIFSA represent your creative artists and your groups in terms of their various categories. But I must confirm that those that have applied, like Abo Mama, Boma, Sibuyele Jehovah, their application is processed. We must confirm out of the 13 speaker, there are groups that has been paid: Situlile Creative Events, TM Enterprise Tertiary, Mbombela Africa, Day celebration, Mpumalanga Youth Choir, Endumbeni Cultural Activities, Mpumalanga Choral Association, Wheatbank Arts Campus, Yabutso Art, Sibebe Cultural Group, the Forgotten Angle Theatre, Amachatangubo, and Ligumbi, Ichele Gumbi. So abomama, if abomake abakatholi lusizo, ngicabanga ukuthi will go back to their committees and check how far they've moved, because there is a dedicated body that represents all our artists in the province.
Okay, thank you very much, MEC. I will now move to question 37 by Honorable Weber. Since Honorable Weber is not here, I will request MECs to respond to all the questions from Honorable Weber in red. Thank you very much. I will now move to question 38, yes. Question 38 from Honorable T.M. Makaringe, ANC, to ask MEC for Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs. MEC Shongwe.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Let me take this opportunity and formally greet you and greet the Premier, our Chief Whip, the Whip Party, our colleagues in the executive, and members of the legislature, as well as officials from all the angles and all protocol observed. Speaker, thank you very much. The question is as follows. The African National Congress greatly appreciated efforts taken by the MEC for the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, and his department to visit COVID-19 compliance on relevant regulations. The first question: has the department done to guarantee the safety of farm workers and farm dwellers during the period of the COVID-19? And the response is, the department distributed PPEs through the farmer organization, which was procured by the national department, and assisted the development of farm workers transportation regulation, which was endorsed by all stakeholders. Departmental extension officers monitored the implementation of the regulations to ensure that farmers comply with those particular regulations. The department also conducted awareness campaigns through local radio stations in an effort to ensure the safety of farm workers and farm dwellers. In addition, Honorable Speaker, the department held 2 engagements as part of awareness. One was held with Organized Agriculture and Farmers Association. The second question: how successful and sustainable are these interventions in our different farming and rural areas? And the response is as follows. The interventions are successful and sustainable because the extension officers only reported few incidents of non-compliance, especially in Komazi municipality. The department dealt with the reported incidents of non-compliance where in some cases the MEC personally visited some of the affected farms. As a result, COVID-19 affected few farm workers and farm dwellers. Question number 3. What challenges are there in the provincial agricultural economy as a result of COVID-19? The response is as follows. The outbreak of COVID-19 had an impact in the provincial agricultural economy through job losses, reduction of food security, and access to markets. This resulted to a decline in agricultural production and income, which is generated through agricultural products. What plans do we have to deal with these challenges? And the response is that the department, in partnership with the National Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development, made available relief grants to qualifying small farmers. Through this initiative, 819 farmers were assisted. Currently, the same department is coming up with a COVID-19 relief fund for subsistence farmers targeting 35,000 farmers. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you very much, MEC. Honorable Member, do we have a follow-up question? Honorable Makaringa?
Yes, Honorable Speaker. Let me greet you, the Speaker of Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature, our Honorable Premier, all the executive members, all honorable members present in this visual meeting. Yeah, I have got one follow-up question, but before a follow-up question, let me appreciate the intervention by the Department of Agriculture, as the MEC has just responded to the question. My question is that we realize there are few farmers which have benefited. Maybe it is because of non-compliance. What is the department's plans to assist them so that when it's also open for reapplication, these people must also benefit, particularly the small farmers that are in the rural areas. Their registration documents fail them to even apply. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MEC.
Very much, Honorable Speaker, and let me thank the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee by bringing that follow-up question. We are dealing with some of the challenges that we have experienced. You must remember that the process of assisting the small farmers through that relief fund was the first process. You will remember that us as province, we were the only province that wrote to the national minister requesting for an extension, which was not granted. So in that particular space, the remaining farmers who had challenges, we have taken note of them and we are going to assist them going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, MEC. Are there any follow-up questions from other members?
Honorable Sidibe, Speaker.
And Honorable Grobler, please.
Honorable Sidibe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to MEC Shongwe and wish you a speedy recovery, my brother. I know you are strong, will be strong. Now, we appreciate the department intervention and assistance provided, more in particular to the small-scale farmers, to one of our own, because the commercial farmers does not need the government assistance because they've been there for quite a long time and sustainable. What I want to know from the MEC is in terms of the budget for the support of those small-scale farmers individually. So is it depending on the number of hectares one's own, or is a standardized allocation for each small-scale farmer?
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let me appreciate the follow-up question from the Honorable Member. First, let me assure the member that in terms of the challenge that I had, I'm fine, I'm 100% fit, I'm up and running, I'm ready for any action. But secondly, we want to agree with the Honorable Member Setibe that in terms of assistance to our small farmers, the necessary criteria does not arise. It depends on the situation of that small farmer when we go and make an assessment in that particular farm. That determines the need. You must remember that we are not only assisting small farmers with COVID-19 relief fund and so on. As a department, we are also responsible for giving them necessary support in all other areas, including implements, seeds, you name it. It depends what is the challenge in that particular small farmer in that particular area. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Krobler.
Thank you, Speaker. Honorable MEC, agriculture is seen as a essential service. So we know that during COVID-19, it didn't take that much of a strain, but I do feel that our small-scale farmers took, felt the brunt of COVID-19. And I would like to ask you, how would you see that sector of agriculture being resuscitated after COVID-19? How will our small scale and our emerging farmers be supported to get back into business?
Honorable MEC.
Honorable Speaker, let me appreciate once more the follow-up question from Honorable Krobler. It's almost similar to the question or the follow-up question made by Honorable Sedibe. And I want to appreciate from the members the concern that they have about our small farmers in the province. One must also appreciate the effort that the small farmers have put during this COVID-19 period. There were a lot of challenges that they faced from time to time. One other contributing factor which I'm going to give to honorable members is that my commercial farmers in the province, I've met with them, with my small farmers and associations. We spoke about these challenges of our small farmers. And there's a MOU that we are going to sign with the commercial farmers in Mpumalanga. Them agreeing to go and assist our small farmers in the province of Mpumalanga. And I will really appeal to my honorable members that we do not work towards dividing small farmers and my commercial farmers, because at the organization, at the association level, at the union level, what I'm striving to do as an MEC for agriculture is that my commercial farmers must make sure that we, together with my department, we assist our small farmers with skills, with financial assistance, and all the knowledge that the commercial farmers have had for this period. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MEC. We're now moving to question number 39 from Honorable PM Lubisi, ANC, to ask MEC for education. Honorable Machuba. Honorable MEC Machuba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The problem is this gadget just mute itself. Thank you very much. I was saying that due to network challenges, please bear with me. I can't be able to open my video.
Okay, you can continue.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The question reads thus from Honorable PM Lubisi, ANC, to ask the MEC for education. Mpumalanga Regional Training Trust is one of the major provincial government institutions aimed to empower the youth with necessary skills to cope with modern job requirements in Mpumalanga. First question, Roman figure 1. In view of major job losses in the province due to COVID-19, what efforts is MRTT doing to skill people who are losing their jobs? And the answer is, During the finalization of the annual performance plan and budget for 2020-21, the MRTT has developed and included programs offering to support people in the province that lost their jobs through COVID-19. The entity will be implementing the following plans to assist and mitigate the impact of COVID-19 in the province on job creation. It will offer trade tests so as to certificate people that have the relevant experience but don't have a certificate. Offer short courses that address the needs of the people or economy in these times of COVID-19. Offer customized training so as to reskill or refresh the skills on the affected employees. Extend the scope of qualifications to more sectors to increase the impact of the entity to more sectors in the economy. Include scarce and needed skills in the offerings under the Artisan Development Program in partnership with private sector. Roman figure 2, how far is government allocating maintenance work from all departments so that the learners at MRTT get practicals? The response, the entity has received maintenance projects from Department of Education in the province under COVID-19 to address the following challenges in their infrastructure. The installation of brick wall water drinking fountains in 128 schools around the province. Installation of water tanks and building of water tank stands in 47 schools across the province. MRTT is also currently concluding assessment of 148 vandalized schools for repairs and maintenance. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. I'm told that Honorable JJ Skosana stands in for Honorable Lubisi. Any follow-up, Honorable Member?
Thank you very much. Sorry, Honorable Speaker. It looks like I haven't yet finished the questions.
Okay.
Roman figure 3. Given the presence of FET colleges in the province, what strategic relationship does MRTT have with the FET and SETAs operating in the province? The response is as follows. The entity with some FET colleges has formed a provincial artisan development steering committee established by the SETA to address the training and skills development needs of the province through engagements and highlighting of scarce skills within the province. The SETAs assist with the alignment of all education, training, and qualification authority processes that will lead ultimately to the issuance of learner certificates. MRTT is also participating in the SETAs forum, where the various SETAs are participating in terms of the various skills needs in different provinces. MRTT has monthly sessions with the SETAs that the entities are accredited with and has commenced with discussions with the other SETAs as identified through the entity's corporate strategy and annual performance plan to support all of their presented sector skills plans. MRTT is also working closely with the technical vocational education and training colleges in the province in sharing of knowledge and resources to increase the impact on youth development. Roman figure 4, given the severity of the impact of COVID-19 to the tourism industry, what is MRTT's approach in skilling those who have lost in the hospitality industry? Hospitality industry to assist with this severe challenge. MRTT has liaised with numerous stakeholders with the hospitality industry to assist with this severe challenge. As the industry is adapting to the new normal and operational needs due to the COVID-19 pandemic and safety measures in the hospitality industry, current employees in the industry are offered updated skills development. The syllabus for hospitality students were also aligned and redeveloped. Employees that have lost their jobs are invited to enroll on other MRTT program offerings to be reskilled, trade tested, or upgrade their skills level through customized training programs and short skills programs. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. My apology, you know, I'm performing a multitask here. Other members that are having challenges, they will just drop an SMS or a WhatsApp in terms of network. So I must quickly just check. So my apology in that regard. Honorable JJ Skosana, do you have any follow-up question?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, members of the executive, honorable members. Honorable Speaker, let me take this opportunity and thank the adequate responses that we got from the MEC of Education. And I don't have any follow-up question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any follow-up questions from other honorable members? None. Thank you. We're now moving to question 40. Honorable G.A. Mufoken from EFF asked MEC for Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs. Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The question coming from the honorable member, it is talking again with about COVID-19, the food parcels, and all relevant issues that were part of assistance towards the COVID-19. And on Roman figure 1, it says, on what are the reasons for the department to appoint only 2 companies to distribute food parcels in the whole province of Mpumalanga? And the response is that it was, then honorable members must attentively listen to this response. It was EXCO resolution that the department supplied the Department of Social Development with food parcels through the 2 agri-hubs in the province. It should be noted that the department was not directly distributing food parcels to beneficiaries, but to DSD centers. The distribution to centers was informed by the need from DSD. Are you not worried that the slow pace of distribution has a negative impact to the department reaching its target? If yes, what is your response? And my response is, the delay were not due to lack of capacity by 2 agri-hubs, but shortage of food items from producers. In cases where delays were experienced, such did not even last for more than a week. Therefore, the turnaround time for the delivery of food items to the distribution centers was satisfactory. Can you tell us what step have you taken to correct the number of distributors? The response is the distribution of food parcels to beneficiaries was not the responsibility of the department, but that of DST. The department was supplying the DST centers as per their needs. Is distribution of food parcels still going on? And the response is the department has supplied all the 40,000 food parcels as per the EXCO resolution. Currently, the department is not supplying any food parcels going forward. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, MEC. Honorable Mufokeng, any follow-up question? Okay, it means that there is none. Any other follow-up questions from other honorable members?
Honorable Sidibe.
Honorable Sidibe. Honorable Probe, your hand is also up.
Yes, thank you.
Honorable Sidibe.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. My question is based on the responses by the MEC on the number of food parcels distributed. The MEC is saying they've distributed 40,000 food parcels, and in the report submitted to the portfolio committee, the department said they've distributed 27,000 food parcels, which were distributed by a company called Mpumelelo. So, which is which? Why there's no balance? What's happening with the other 13,000 to make it 40,000, Honorable MEC?
Thank you, Honorable MEC.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. And let me thank Honorable Sidibe by making that follow-up question. Yeah, it shows that he does read the report, but it's only talking about only Mpumelelo, which is one agri-hub. There is another agri-hub. I've explained in my responses that 2 agri-hubs were distributing these food parcels. So we will check because it's talking about new statistics or numbers. So to be correct and to be precise, we will check the difference between the 27,000 that is talking about of Mpumelelo versus the 40,000. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you very much, MEC. Honorable Probe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just would like to ask the MEC, in this rolling out of this COVID-19 program, were there any local businesses that benefited from this whole program?
Thank you, Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member, Honorable Khrovieba, with your follow-up questions. I think in my responses, I'm only talking about 2 agri-hubs that were responsible to distribute food parcels. It's not a tender. It's not a tender. It's distributing food parcels, which is about 40,000 of them. So in terms of benefiting of companies and so on, I'm not expecting companies, big or small, to benefit from my department in this particular process. But I know the reason why honorable members are always bringing question around issue of COVID-19 and distribution part of it is because it is treated with suspicion all the time. And the perception that have been created in the entire country, it creates, uncertainty to members, and it's their right to ask and get responses. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, MEC.
Not the uncertainty, MEC. Sorry, Honorable Speaker. Not the uncertainty, just a point of correction. It's a point of correction.
No, Honorable.
It's not the uncertainty, Honorable MEC.
No.
The corruption that happened.
Honorable
Let's
Sedibe.
spade a spade, not the corridor.
Thank you, honorable members. We have exhausted our 2 hour 30 minutes. We have come to the end of the question time. That concludes the business of the day. The House is adjourned until further notice. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable
Long live the Speaker.
Thank you, Speaker.
Lile mngani wami ngipholile ungasabi mngani wami.
Ngiyabonga mawuphilile ngifuna fit ngisafuna ukumura ngebhakela.
Robert mngani wami sawuthola negroundini mngani wami.
Ngiyokuzela khona lapha eBrighton mina ngikusaba.
Ngajabula mngani wami uzobuya uhamba ngama crashes emuva.
Next mfana wena.